moja. Sunderland walileta mchezo but tulikuwa tushajua.
Umeharibu holiday.
Point ni 3 tunachukua hapa stadium of flight but things didn't go that way, but we appreciate what was there. Onslaught downfall is still continuing. Yani sisi kama haters life is smooth and weekend in a bamba too. We can't wait for next weekend. Hata international imeharibu but tunajua itakuwa tu poa next weekend bado but one
definitely a good weekend. Hata leo mpaka nimevaa jazi na tukushinda, unajua it was a beautiful weekend definitely. To the next left side, my guy, the Man City game. Unajua leo tumevaa jazi watu wote ambao tuko na furaha. Yes, welcome to the show.
Yes, I'm Newton. Mimi niko na furaha.
Naomba usogeze mic karibu.
Mimi nimefurahi sana, of course. Our win yesterday, I feel like I'm the happiest man in the world today. Furaha tele. I have no words. Acha tu niachie hapo, but yeah, the weekend has been really good for us. And we are going for that title ni yetu. Title yetu, of course Arsenal cannot win.
That's a good one. We are starting on flames, eh? Now to the side of the sad people now on the show. The sad part of the show.
Ni Brian hapa. Weekend imekuwa mbaya sana. Mbaya sana. Ningekuwa nal sasa ningekuwa hosi. Tunaomboleza lakini as one TikToker said, it is or it is. Na kavenye wengi alisema, haikuteleza si kuanguka. Tutajiokota, tutoyo vumbi, tutaamka tu. Point ni 8, amko hivyo mbali. Game bado ni mingi zimebaki. Tupatane after international break. Hatushindi tena.
That's a brave Liverpool fan. Just to be to be very kuingia ndani kabisa ni wa Liverpool, so we understand. You're very brave coming to the show and alone. Unajua boys akiluzi wa kujangi. Boys wa Man City. Yes, man, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Let me just correct you there on mambo ya kusema sijui ati I'm sad. I'm not sad. I'm still happy. We're on top of the league. Unajua naangalia watu hivi. So, I'm your leader. So anyway, with you on the weekend, of course not a good as we wanted. But all in all, we still move on. International break imekuja the right time so that the players that were injured wakuja wakiwa fit. Now the fixtures zenye zitakuja next now zitakuwa not the real test, but all in all tumeanza show vizuri in a good note, and I am happy to be here. I'm very glad to be here with you guys and being able to analyze all these facts together. So yeah, welcome to the show.
Your names?
Oh, my name is Emmanuel Ndeti, a proud Arsenal fan. Yeah.
Hujatuambia jina yako? Mbona uko stress?
Ni huzuni tu. Ni Brian, proud Liverpool fan. I will never walk alone.
Apparently it's a different story this weekend, but all in all, welcome to the show. Definitely you've heard that is the whole group that we're going to have today to help us analyze each and every action that took place this weekend. And of course, before we go on, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. This broadcast is live on our Facebook page at EBN TV and also on YouTube. Yes, for those YouTubers today, here we are. And so go along with us till 4 p.m. as we bring down we'll be bringing down the curtain to the show. But before that, let us have a nice ride, because I promise you it's going to be flames. Very smoking today. And as you can see from the evidence of how we have started, it's going to be a great show. And I hope it is. Now, don't forget also to bring to jot in your comments so that we can know what you feel about the various topics we'll be tackling today. My name is Michael Dipo, a fan of the great Manchester United, of course. So let us start, and as they say, charity begins at home. I want us to start from here at home, because there are a lot of actions that took place this weekend. But before that, this past week is a week that the national team, the national coach, that is Benny McCarthy, called into camp the team to play the two friendlies that are coming up. Madina, I hope you have the information. There's a squad that was called up. Some notable names missing in the squad. So what can you say about the squad? And before that, do you have the squad so that we can tell people what we expect from the team that was called into camp? Help Madina with the mic.
Yeah, there is a team that was called, but first, as I check where I had saved it, my reaction to it is that some of the noticeable players who are missing kwangu inipay pressure because these are friendlies as much as ni good friendlies that we are building but also I think Ben McCarthy is looking up to 2027 CHAN nini AFCON because anajua by then we need to also be bringing in a new crop of players wenye watatusaidia now beyond 2027 because ukiangalia watu kama wakina Michael Olunga Richard Odada wakina Anthony Okumu they are aging wale wanaingia into their 30s na once unajua in African football ukiingia into your 30s lazima tuweze kuangalia who is the successor because pia ukiangalia if you continuously depend on one person itakuwa ngumu then two we also need to live with this fact that anything can happen in football so you need to prepare hata wachana na hiyo mambo ya retirement or maybe reaching 30 injuries zinakujanga tunapata unapata mimi kama coach sijawahi zoea kucheza bila Olunga up front sijawahi zoea kucheza bila Antonio Kumu Richard Odada in the midfield what will happen you see so with all these things in mind I think Benny was thinking about the present and also thinking about the future then ukiangalia mtu kama Aldrin Kibet the Celta Vigo player una inclusion yake pia na kuonesha the future sasa yako 18 years by 2027 atakuwa 20 wakati tunapiga CHAN so na wewe ni kijana mwenyewe given time ukiangalia what Manzuro Kwar wanafanya na Sylvester it shows you that age is just a number kama if you're good you're good unaona if you're good you're good so it's a nice one I know some heads lazima zingetingika kidogo because especially kwanza the most notable one alikuwa Olunga but hata mwenye alisema these are friendlies also we know that Kenya needs to continue even without me being there so kwangu kwake akasema si feel kama ni kitu kibaya Ben is just building a team so let's not everyone read too much into it at sijaitwa or sijui nini let watu wapate chance that is mwanamtu kama Ayunga hakuwa anaitwa recently amemake a return so I think also it is good for us to not read too much Senegal is a good friendly yenye pia tunaenda kupiga because ndio hata wakiongea juzi it was a friend that iliekwa haikuwa ikuwe part of the plan but once president wa Senegal aliattend the celebration ya juzi hapo ndio hiyo kitu iliongelelewa wakasema how about you bring Senegal in ikachebo hapo alafu yes which is good because as Kenyans we should be afadhali tupigwe 5 na Senegal kuliko kucheza na Zanzibar uipige 7 you are learning nothing unaona at least when you play this quality friendlies hata nyinyi kama players waga mnajigauge unaangalia mimi kama player what do I need to do kufika hii level what do I need to go this far but once mnacheza na hizi teams hata ndio najuza kusema tupoe Tanzania hizi ni teams locals bana we can't be measuring ourselves if we want to aspire we can't be measuring ourselves against these teams we just need to look at the best hata tukimalizana na Senegal tupewe Morocco tupewe Cote d'Ivoire tupewe all these big teams ndio at least ukicheza kutoka hapo unasema in terms of stamina nafanya hivi in terms of my technical abilities nafanya hivi then mkikimbiza unalana a lot from that inakuwa better
and you've mentioned something about the call up one notable player here and I feel like Kenya many Kenyans many football lovers in Kenya have been looking forward to have this person Aldrin Kibet because if you look at the fast behind this guy how people follow his talent right in, even in Spain everybody was anxious so everybody was looking forward to a day when he'll be called into the national team and now finally it has come Manu Kibet is a player that we've talked before and maybe we talked about the chances of him the year he'll be called into the national team and finally it's here what do you feel about Kibet now being included into the national team like Madina said earlier he's 18 right now and the coach is looking at 2027 AFCON what is the importance of including such players into the team integrating them with the old guys
I think right now when venye Kibet ameingia of course he is pure talent he has showed that his talent is top notch and getting recognition also like kusign to team kama Celta Vigo unapata at least pia hiyo inamwongezea experience na like trying to know the football in Europe so akikuja Kenya na sasa hivi venye eko into the Kenyan squad at least now he'll get to know more like integrate vizuri with the older players it's just all about getting the experience he deserves because we all know he's pure talent and mimi Kibet mi najua atakuwa proper player mwenye atatu represent kabisa in this coming events. You know, age sahi hata hajafika prime, you know, na kama ameshaenda amejoin team ya Europe ya Celta de Vigo, na sahi unapata sahi anaingizwa into the team now, inasaidia pia Kenya au ma experienced players wataweza integrate vizuri into the squad. Pia yeye akitoka huko na anatoka na experience yake ya European football, how it is, na pia talent tu yake, unajua kuna passion na talent, so it's so much added advantage for him kuwa added into the squad. Yes.
And it comes at a week where he was included into the first team training at Celta Vigo, so it has been a good week, and I feel like people see the talent even in Spain, you know, they trust him, and he's been producing good performances whenever he was called upon by his team, though he plays right now at the reserves team in Celta Vigo, but being included into the main team for this last week, it shows how the improvement that and the impact is having at that particular team. So having him in the national team colors, I hope, even if he won't play maybe, but just having him there, that and just showing him that when you play well, then you will get a chance to be here. Then it's a good thing for these people. And I hope to see more young players being brought into the first team, because that's what we want to see. We want to see the coach groom the next players for the future. Let us talk about Benny McCarthy a little bit. I feel like talking about it. Brayo, do you follow? I know you follow Harambee Stars. And I think this is Benny McCarthy's first full year, or going to the second year. What can you say about the impact McCarthy has had in this particular team?
He's a strategist. He's a strategist. Naweza sema amerevive Harambee Stars sana. Because you see, as a coach, the first thing you do is you have to impact them with your own style. We don't depend on the footsteps of the other coach. And we saw that he came and changed it all. His play style, his choice of players, the way he impacted the game is just amazing. Si tuliona kwa chana ama jamaa aliperform. Joku nje tu story ni ama jamaa akiambiwa story ado watacheza, lakini si pesa inacheza. It all comes from the coach, strategy, impact atapatia players mentally, training wanapata, and it all goes back to the coach. So yeah, he's doing a great job. Given the chance, resources, kila kitu, jamaa atatupeleka places.
Definitely. And one thing I love about McCarthy is the risk he takes when it comes to choosing his team and the players who are taking part in a game, and trusting players like Manzuro Kwaro. And now there is this player, we were cheering mwenye anacheza, there's this team here. Sorry, kuna huyu mwenye anacheza Real Sociedad, Ochieng. This young, I think it's also in the squad. Let me confirm something here. The fact that he trusts these young players and brings them in and convinces them to play for the national team is a good thing. And Job Ochieng from Real Sociedad. And if you look at Napia actually reserve team still, but he trusts them to call them to the national team colors, and it's a good thing that he does such things. So there is so much expectations with this particular team. Now, coming to you now, what expectation do you have now for this particular team and the coach as a whole in the national team?
For me, as you have watched, as Brian has said, the Kenyan team has really improved due to the Nini, even the coach himself, the strategies. As you saw that pia alikuanga Manu pia, sindio? So I think he's really experienced, akona tactical, he has good tactics. So what I think, if Kenya, this one, I think if provided the right resources, right? If provided with the right resources, Kenya will go far, and the right support,
Definitely, and that's one thing we're looking forward to, all of us here as fans and football lovers in this nation, to see our country for the first time scale into heights that we've never had before in the footballing. Because right now, if you look, even I think the last national team updates, we were, I think, 112? Ya mwisho ile FIFA ranking, I think. So we want to get to the levels where we are above 100, because for the longest time we've had is in East Africa, the representative has been Uganda, has been doing well, and so we want to get to those heights. You know, what is Uganda doing differently than what we have been doing? So that's what we want to do, and make sure that we get to the right places. And if you look at even the footballing atmosphere in this country, we are seeing the coming up of infrastructure. Very good footballing grounds are coming up. The league is getting sponsors and all that. We are seeing now even the local teams, our teams here, they pump in money to make sure that they get the best performances when it comes to club level. So and that now translates to the performance of the national team. So that is what we want to see in our country. And also pia kulikuwa na they named before that this is the full squad that was named by McCarthy. The goalkeeping department we had Brian Opondo from Tusker, Brian Bwire from Polokwane City, and Brian Omondi from Gor Mahia. The defenders tulikuwa na Brighton Onyona from Gor Mahia, Sylvester Owino Gor Mahia, Alphonse Omija, Etoile Sahel, Michael Kibwage from Gor Mahia, Ronnie Onyango from Songdal, Kevin Otiende Nairobi United, Baron Ochieng from Zamalek. Midfielders we had Alpha Onyango from Gor Mahia, Duke Abuya from Yanga, Timothy Ouma, Les Poznan, Marvin Abure from Kenya Police. Austin Odhiambo in the attackers we have from Gor Mahia, William Lenkupai VPS, Job Ochieng Real Sociedad, Boniface Mushiri Ulinzi Stars, Sharif Musa Gor Mahia, Aldon Kibet Celta Vigo, Ovela Ochieng from Nairobi United, John Ayunga St Mirren, Ryan Ogam Wolfsburger, and Lawrence Okoth from Seinajoki. If you look at this team, Madin, most of these players come from Gor Mahia. And there was a contention whereby people feel like if you look at right now before this weekend, the top team was Kakamega Homeboys. It was the team that was topping the charts in the local league. And people were wondering, if you have a team that's performing well in the name of Kakamega Homeboys, and there's no single player that comes from that team, you're taking a lot of players from Gor Mahia. I've not seen a lot of players from Police. We have not seen a lot of players from Nairobi United, only two. What do you make of this team selection whereby, do you feel like these mamas about lacking the whole outlook of the Kenyan Premier League teams in the national team selection? Do you feel like it is worth that mamas about why only Gor Mahia?
Well, last week tulikuwa tunaongea hapa about the beauty of Gor Mahia. Na it will always reflect kwa Premier League. Kwa sababu hata juzi I was talking to someone akiniambia ati how can McCarthy call Aldrin Kibet na wachekeli Madanda out? And I was like, bro, you need to look at how football is, not from a point of being an FC Leopard fan, just a football fan. You need to look at coach angaliagi tu ati huyu anachezea FC Leopard sasa yeye ni mkali ambao ni mtu fulani. Even in England wakina Maguire hawaitwi. You see, so at one point na kuangani, first it's always about transition, then number 2 is about performance. Ukiangalia hii team vile imeitwa from the word go, number 1, angalia performances za Gor Mahia. Yes, they started slowly, and watu kama kina Alpha Onyango walikuwa wanasuasua na hata Austin Odhiambo na walikuwa dropped, but also they pulled up later wakakuja wakaingia. So it is always about performance. And the reason why Gor Mahia inakani kama wako na all the players in the Premier League, it is simple. These people buy these good players. Ukianza tu kushine kwa Premier League hivi, kitu ya kwanza inakuwa ni Gor Mahia anakukujia. If you're not going outside Kenya to play outside, ni Gor Mahia itakukujia. Tulisema vizuri hapa Brian Omondi alikuwa Bandari. Bado kama sahi bado akiitwa Chan alikuwa Bandari. So sahi ameanza kuitwa anaitwa because ako Gor Mahia. So ni coach anaangalia performance yake, alikuwa na perform akiwa Bandari. Sahi enda na lead chart ya clean sheets akona I think ni 5, Simon ni 6, amefikisha 6, I don't know 5 6 hapo. So tuna mtu kama you don't leave such a goalkeeper outside, then 2 amekuserve kwa Chan. Alionyesha levels. People saw the levels za Brian Omondi pale Chan. Unaona? So people understand. Then number 2, Brian Bwire has been there for the longest time. Na pia umeona anacheza nje huko so ule ni mse pia ana bring that experience from outside to let hapa, so kuna kwa stiff competition. Yes, other keepers pia wako poa, but also tunaangalianga levels. So pia you can be good but good to play for your club, but not good to play for the national team. And that is why ukiangalia kuna so many players outside there. Kama kulikuwa na huyu former number 10 tulikuwa tunamwitaka Mapaki wa Madhari, Joanna Omolo. They are playing good football pale nje, but sasa una levels zao zili drop. So once level yako ime drop, coach atako drop pia, because ana feel you are good for your team but you are not good for the national team. The same way na Austin Odhiambo, but it doesn't make you a bad player. Ni wewe tu sasa you work your way back into the team. So Kenya Premier League teams ndio kukuwa na hiyo uniformity, because mimi kama coach hata wewe sasa ukiambo pick best team upika 11 an all star team au uta pick msejo anachezea tu, utaenda tu Shabano useme nipeni huyu, uende sijui Mara Sugar nipeni huyu. No, you will sit down and uangalie ni team gani itanipea results, because at the end of the day it's all about results. It's about kufurahisha mafans, ati nilete wa Shabana mmoja, nilete wa FC mmoja, nilete wa no. It's about how many people can serve me. Then number 2, coach wanga anaangalia niko na time. Siendi CHAN anytime soon, siendi AFCON anytime soon, niko na 2 years ya kutengeneza squad. So I have time to experiment. So if you show me levels, kama mtu kama Sheriff Musa ndiye amerudi na ni msee umeona hata juzi amescore. Hii game ya juzi wakicheza na Police, amefunga bao. So levels zake zimegrow, zimeenda juu. So once people start performing, na watu wanaangalia those big teams, wanaanga big teams. Nilisema hapa FC Leopards kama wanataka kuwa na representative, they need those X factor players. People wenye watakuwa na perform each day in day out. Mtu mwenyewe hata kaa wiki 4 kama hatujamuongelelea. Kili Badanda started well, that's what alitoka to the previous codes. Unaona alikuwa na score na Makati akamwona akaitwa. As much as hakucheza so many games, badala ile friend ile Sekafa tulienda TZ alicheza. So wanaangalianga you used to perform, but sahi where are you? Yes, you are getting into the FC Leopards squad, but are you performing? Are you having those assists? Are you having those wow moments in ball? So vitu kama hizo mimi nasema hivi, people let McCarthy do his work. Yeye ndo maana yeye ndio coach, sisi ni fans. Sisi kazi yetu question tu wakati we don't get the result. Tuseme we gave you everything, we gave you the support, tulimejaza grao, tuambie shida iko wapi.
Definitely. And one thing I think I've drawn from that is also the coach's philosophy, you know. You can be a good player sometimes, but you don't fit into the philosophy of the coach, you know. And that can be a factor, and that's why you need sometimes make use of utility players, you know. Players like Ronnie Onyango will never miss a space because he's a utility player. He can literally fit in any position, you know. So I think it's another aspect of how to look at this squad selection. Now, also there was an under 17 African Cup of Nations qualifiers in the Sekafa region, whereby a team was called into the camp, also the under 17 by Coach William Lui, I think, if I'm not wrong. And this was the squad. We have Georgian Chris, Golan Oliech, William Owino. Defenders we had Cosmas Sasunga, Eugene Ochieng, Neville Simiyu, Stephen Ochieng, Edwin Gukumu, Rafael Omondi, Brighton Moses, Julius Ochieng, Trevor Maluki. The midfielders we had Derek Mchiti, Wayne Wamaya, Derek Katete, Rais Ochieng, Armstrong Omondi, Brighton Nacheri, and Denzel Omolo. The forwards we had Nicholas Onyango, Trevor Nasasiro, Nathan Ochola, Collins Ochieng, Jokani Agutu, and Marcos William. I want to talk about something here, just briefly. In this under 17 squad selection, there was something that happened here, and I feel like something we can all talk about. The fact that there was a lot of players who were called into the camp, but some were dropped because of age cheating. Because right now, if you've realized that in the recent times, people don't just don't look at the birth certificate. They test you, I think, mostly your palms to see to be able to make sure that you are of the right age. Because previously we've had the issue, especially with Africans, the age cheating factor, whereby somebody is way older but changes the birth certificate to look younger, to appear younger. So let's talk about the issue of age cheating in football, especially because it's something that's very rampant. In my playing days when I was playing at Maisa, it was there. I was in under 10. I played till under 12 after nikacha ball kidogo nikakuja kwa support. But there was still an issue of age cheating. Let's talk about, what do you feel about age cheating? Let us start from Madin here. What do you feel about this age cheating issue?
It's a menace. Na uaga si feel better. Okay, no, unajua sometimes one of the reasons hata kuna mtu tulikuwa tunaongea na one of the coach akasema unajua shida ya Kenya ni development. Mtu unaanza kupick football yako ukiwa na miaka 14 15. Sasa ball yako ikianza kupick by that time unapata umeanza kuzeeka. Sasa unapata maybe uko na ile maisha under 13 unafaa uende Norway. Sasa utadu na uko 15 years. Si unapunguza hizo mbili at least ukue 13 ndio uende maisha because hiyo ndio mpira wako umeanza kupick. So it's a bad thing because ukifanya hivyo tunanyima the genuine people your time and the space to showcase that talent. It is something that is rampant in Africa na Kenya we are obviously guilty of that. Unaona mtu ako, I won't mention names but unajua tu unaona huyu anasema kwa 25 ndio like hapana. Sura yako na 24 years kidogo.
How long have you been 24?
Bana. Mtu mwanza kumuona for the last 6 years na baada yako 25. Unashindwa sasa kwani wewe miaka yako inaendaga hivi. You see, so it is something in that waste as a team because it brands us badly. Kenya iko na talent. Ukiangalia all these players, okay, Aldrin Kibet. Ukiangalia from all angles. Mtu uko 16 years na uko form 4. You're like, kwani ulisoma aje? Like, give us the logic to that. Una hiyo logic haingii. Like, hata ukijaribu kurudi nyuma, useme alisoma mbio, bado unapata kuna kitu mahali.
But I was from 4 when I was 16.
Where's
on a serious note, I did because Yeah, I was 16 when I was in Form 4.
Because it's hard unless ulianza shule na 3 years then hapo katikati ukaruka
it's very true.
Unaona your academic performances need to show that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Unapata the reason why huyu mtu alirushwa some classes akaenda, but if you follow the system well, the least unaweza kwa Form 4 ni 17 years. Hiyo unaweza, it is possible for you to be Form 4 na 17, but 16 15 Form 4 never. So ulikuwa unapata ati watu ama mwingine unapata ati ameitwa under 20 camp na alimaliza Form 4 like 3 years ago 4 years ago and like huyu kwani alimaliza Form 4 na akiwa how old ndio sasa anaitwa under 20. Huyu ni mtu anafaa kuwa under 23. So unapata, so it is something that is bad. Na mimi nilifurahia juzi nimeona kuna ile kupewa magoti, kuna ile mkono, looking at the dental formula because hizo haziwezi cheat. Kuna meno unafaa tu kuwe nayo ukiwa hata certain age.
Kuna wisdom teeth.
Uko at 18 uko na wisdom treat tunafanya nini at 18? Such technology kitambo kwa hiyo technology. People wako na uwezo kuangalia, ulikuwa unakuja tu bara ni mfupi unakaa hivi. Hadi mimi nilikuwa na wengine wanaambia nyoa ndevu kabisa, make sure umezinyoa umesugua vizuri. Mimi natuko naenda sometimes under 14 Maisa championship. Kocha anakuja referee anaangalia na guza hivi, anasikia wewe ni smooth basi tunapata. So ilikuwa hivyo, but sasa hii they are more into it, advanced technologies. Sasa kuna hadi academies. If you want your child to play football, usingoje zeke to avoid easy age cheating. Wewe anza tu kumtrain mapema under 10. Sasa kuna hadi mpaka under 5. Yani kuna football from all ages. Anaanza tu mapema under 5, akuje under 10. Vile tu tumeona wakina Job na Aldrin Kibet. Tu vile tumeona hata Ovela, ndugu ya Omala. Walitoka from Coca-Cola. Unaona tu alitoka 16 akakuja under 17 akaenda under 18 akaona kuna hiyo continuity. So that's what we need, because cheating as much as West Africa wanadanganya juu pia Nigerians na Senegal pia wako huko sana. Unapata mtu amekauka na ni under 17 na wanapiga wazee because unapata sasa huyu ni mtu ni under 20 na anafusa kucheza under 17. Mtu akona birth certificate mbili, unashinda nafanyia zote nini? Okay, so it's boring and it's crazy. Now it's something that we should just as fans, as federations tukatai. Tukae tu like wacha mtu tu kama miaka ilikupita wewe kubali matokeo, aim for the national team. Huko hata ukiona 30 utacheza. Kama wakina Jimmy Vardy. Kama mpira wako imepeak at a later age in life, appreciate it. Enjoy the 5 years of fame. Do your thing in those 5 years. Utaambia watoto wako mimi mpira wangu ilipik late, nyinyi sitakubali ipik late. I will start with you early. But wewe fungua tu space watu wakuje. So cheating in football, I'm happy say technologies ziko, cheating imepunguka na let's just have clean football.
And Manu, because I think kuna mic. Mwenye kuna mic here. Brayo tuendelea tu. What do you think are the effects of the long term effects of maybe stopping this cheating? Because like Marina amesema hapo earlier that we know that some people are late bloomers, and in Africa especially, whereby most talents start maybe mtu anaeleza kuna talent ya football ama nakubaliwa akiwa later on in age, maybe 14 years, unajua yeye anapenda football ndio kuingia. Now the fact that we are removing now the older age, do you think you are going to have maybe less talents, or might it affect the national team when it comes to that?
Yes and no. Okay, unajuanga ndio tupate rising stars au watu wadogo wana grow. It all comes down to the government. Government provide facilities. Unaonanga Mayolo wakidiwa kuna training ground yao inakaa ground yetu huku Kenya, like hasa ile ground yenye saa Gor Mahia inaenda kucheza ni training ground huko hivyo. Leo unasikia mtu amesema dad I'm going to the training facility watu wadogo, lakini sasa Kenya sio unaonanga nani namba 10 wetu wa nini akichezea nitangaje Uboisi ali usuloni ugra alikuwa na train venye ile aka the you to like inaka tu it's bad. Gava ikistep in yes tunaweza anza kusema venye amesema ka talent yako imekam late endelea na ukacha story ya kurudi huko juu unajua bedha cheating inaanzangi huko juu high school turudi tu high school yetu unaona ile team ya volleyball yenye ilicheza na form 4 wetu, mimi nikiwa form 1 ndo alicheza tena na sisi, mimi nikiwa form 4 like naangalia na like for real. Like naangalia anasema usimle mjamaa alikuwa anacheza na kina Jonte tukiwa form 1. Na ndo anacheza yani tumekula hapa miaka 4-3 na bado tunacheza na yeye. Futa tuangalie futa yetu like shule yetu kulikuwa na side moja I think mwei choto na ukuta sio ukuta hapo wako amejenga lisunda tu kifence. So hapo tuko katikati ya futa inachemka tunatopepo hivyo macho tuna Murio fulani anakaa 27 na ndo boys amepenya ameingia. Kiasi tunaona party substitutions. Ameingia hadi tumeanza kuleta zogo sasa tunasema Murio ni baba ya mtu. Hadi hajanywa. Hadi hajanywa ndevu juu. After tunaambiwa ati high schooler. High schooler hata Murio wangu ananichapa sema chuo yetu iko side za Makueni. So kuna Murio hapo around ananiambia usimle Murio anduthi wa pale hivi ile stage fulani ya pale. So like nasema ndio tunataka kudevelop my youngsters but venye wange usema kidole kimoja kivunji chao hatuwezi kitu pekee yetu ndio talent iko but bila hizo facilities pia talent ukufa unaona kaa hapa Uhuru complex mwanzo kitu inasaidia watu wengi sana gava ikiendelea kudu hivyo ndio tutaanza sasa gava utapata kocha na kama anasema nimecheki story under 14 under 14 legit ani under 14 legit watu wako na training wanacheza fiti ni wengine bana ndini mcheze under 30 ama under 40 kwa hizi zinaitangwa wazee like tu ndio endeni mcheze huko juu mkikuja mkiage cheat na maanishaje umeage cheat saa umekam new experience juu umecheza more than mtoi so coach ataduaje mundu ako ni experience wewe mtoi we grow so guess what pia huyu amepitwa so akipitwa pia ataduaje ana age cheat and the cycle keeps going on and on so mimi naweza sema tu gava ibulmo juu gava imeinvest sana kwa athletics tukiongea tu kweli athletics Kenya iko invested excess talanta imeanza juzi before hapo manzi stadium zetu zilikuwa in poor conditions so at the end of the day gava step in tutakuwa sawa.
Exactly. And one of the major, I think, issues when it comes to cheating is later in life when people turn professional and you're over age, unapata msee ako 29, my injury ni mob mbaya sana. Because magoti inakataa man, ulidanganya uko 20 years man nakumbuka uko 30. So in the next 10 years you are 40 but age inasema ni 30. So mwili imeshachoka man. So kuna so many injuries and all that. So you are never available in there. So I hope this something we're going to cover. It was I'm sorry unless Kako something to say about the cheating man. So let us go ahead and I'm looking at the time. I think we should go on a very short break, but when we come back we'll be talking now other things, very little things about home after twende the upper part ama twende nje kidogo, si ndio? So don't go very far. Mara Sugar played against FC Leopards, of course. One thing I want to forget. Ulinzi Stars played against Shabana, APS Bomet against Mathare, Kakamega Homeboys played against Murang'a Seals, Bandari played against KCB, Kenya Police, Gor Mahia, Sofapaka, Posta Rangers. Manu, do you have the results?
I have the results. Yes, I have the results here. So, starting with the Bidco United game, Bidco versus Tusker. Na Tusker waliweza kushinda hiyo game. Scoreline ilikuwa 1-0. And then Mara Sugar versus AFC Leopards. Hii Mike hautaki kusikia. Mara Sugar walishinda hiyo game 2-0 against AFC Leopards. And then another game here was Nairobi United versus Kariobangi Sharks, in which Nairobi United won with 4 goals to Kariobangi Sharks 2 goals. So it ended 4-2. Alafu tukiendelea kuna Ulinzi Stars versus Shabana. Na Shabana walishinda hiyo game 1-0. Tuko na APS Bomet versus Mathare United. Hiyo game ilisha 1-1 draw. Same case to Bandari FC versus KCB, pia ilisha 1-1. And then Kenya Police versus Gor Mahia. Gor Mahia waliweza kushinda hiyo game 2-0 against Kenya Police. Kuna games zenye pia zitacheza leo. I think Sofapaka versus Posta Rangers will be beginning shortly. So hizo ndio results I think zili happen. Kuna games zingine maybe zili postponediwa, but tutaongelelea hizo zisha happen.
Yes, and thank you so much, Manu. Starting us off, let's start from the Ulinzi Stars versus Shabana game. I told you that Tusker won 1-0 against Bidco, but acha tuongelee some of this because of time. We'll just select a few in tuongelea, then we'll be going on. So let's start from the Shabana finally got a win. Madin, tuanze nayo kwanza. Finally Shabana has a win. They won against Ulinzi Stars. a match that was very, very, very tough. What do you make of Shabana now getting a win finally after some time?
It was due because mafans wao wamesafa. Kuna this guy of mine anaitwa Kenya Premier League Troll FC guy. Ametrolla watu. The guy ni kama alikuwa tu dedicated Bana FC hawana peace pale. Each and every day from their bus to their fans to their players to the coach. Like everything alikuwa na make sure tu anawapika. And by the way, Brian Mshire getting injured imewasumbua. But this is a good win because at times this is what you need. That first win. Ile onyesha we can actually do without our talisman. Hiyo inakuanga then inafunguanga even more doors because in all reality hizi teams zote ziko na huge fan base. They just need to do well because with them doing well ile rivalry inakuwa high and we just unapata sasa ile enthusiasm ya kwenda kuona hizi games inaongezeka. Hata kuna time walikuwa wanasema tunataka hizi team FC pata na Gor Mahia kama wako unbeaten and stuff like that. We are going to talk about that. Unapata vitu hizo, so hiyo enthusiasm iko hapo. It is so nice. Wakati walikuwa wanaenda ile tournament ya ODM at 20 kwa Mombasa IFC hizo buses zikipata hivi unasikia ati 3 serious buses and 1 school bus katikati ya Shabana. So such trolls we need them, they are healthy. Zina make kwamba unapata saa game next ya Shabana versus Gor Mahia mafans watajaa wengi, there will be a lot of to talk about na such ndio hata sponsors waga wanaangalia na kama these are the most talked about clubs unapata in terms of sponsorship inakuwa better. So for Shabana fans this was a very good win and for the Premier League also it was a very good win. At least sahi kuko ile shift fulani ya sahi ni Shabana wana troll wengine pia.
Let's talk about Tusker pia kidogo na talk about Tusker. Tusker is one team that didn't start off very well in the league this season. And there were times they were losing back to back and there was all that noise about the coach not doing well and the fans were very furious about it. The fact they won a game right now, they sit 6th on the log with 12 points, just 4 points behind Gor Mahia, despite the fact that they've played full 8 matches. Let us talk about Tusker. They finally won against Bidco United. What can you say about Tusker? Because right now, as I look at how they performed, like I said, they are on 12 points right now. With a 0 goal difference, of course. A club in the magnitude of Tusker is a club that you expect them to perform so well. But we have seen their laps sometimes and sometimes winning. So what do you talk about Tusker this season?
I think for Tusker, you have to just give credit for how they have picked themselves up. I think Tusker waliweza pick themselves up vizuri because walianza season vibaya. But
I'm told that sorry, a little bit later kidogo tu. I want to go on a very short break. Will be back due to a technical hitch. Don't go far. Sorry for that technical hitch, but welcome back. Manu, you were saying something.
I was saying this, Tusker venye walianza season in a shaky way, losing games, drawing, like consistency haikuwa hapo, but kuna break walienda and then when they came back, they started winning some games. Of course, walishinda against Moranga Seal and picking up some good results versus Kariobangi Sharks walishinda and of course they hawajashindwa yani. So of course now picking another 3 points versus Bidco United ilikuwa fiti sana. So I think you just have to give them credit to how they have picked themselves up because tulikuwa tunaongelea about the pressure that walianza kupata coach akisema tukianza kuuliza kama it's the tactics wrong, is the coach wrong ama ni players. But now when they start getting this run of results, the pressure and now in our table.
Definitely. Now another game I feel to talk about is the Kakamega Homeboys against Moranga Seal. Before this weekend they were leading the league, but due to this draw and Gor Mahia winning, Gor Mahia has toppled them now. Kakamega Homeboys is a team that for the longest time we know that it's a team that starts off very well, But of course, as the league progresses, we see them starting to they start dipping. Not the first season, not the second season. This is like the trend they are making. Do you think they are going to have the same season as we have always known them?
Yeah, I think Kakamega Homeboys it's all mental. Unajua kuna wana ile yenye mtu unaanza kitu kama marathon. Then unaona. So once you start with a sprint in a marathon, definitely it is going to be a very complicated issue altogether, because at the end of the day wewe unapata sasa wakati sasa mnafika ile stretch ya mwisho ile, now you need to give your all. Unapata the energy to make a game za kwanza. So I think ni kitu yenye they should be working on. It has been there for some time. Na ukiona kitu najirudia season 3 mfululizo, then it's all mental. Sio ati ni coach ama ni players ama nini. It is just how they approach things. Unaanza na power mingi then so the thing is, ligi ikianza everyone bado wanga anajaribu kutengeneza fitness yake na vitu kama hizo. Hata wewe mwenyewe don't push too much. Kuja pole pole, because it's a marathon. 38 games ni mingi. You just need to take your time slowly by slowly. Then ukianza kupick sasa kila mtu, your body is at its peak. Umeshacheza game kadhaa, match fitness iko pale, training fitness iko pale, levels zenyu za mental wellness iko poa. Hapo ukianza ku sprint uko poa juu pia unajua sasa I'm creating a distance because naona mwisho pale. So Kakamega Homeboys ni kitu wanafaa waangalia, alafu pia coach pia maybe anaweza angalia probably these players are not good enough to run those long races. So it is time for him kuleta ile yenye anajua huyu akipiga game 5 level yake wanga ina drop. Huyu naye anapiga game 10. Huyu naye anaweza piga full stretch. Unajua kuna such kind of players ukiwa push too much anakuwa injured ama form yake inapotea. So you need also to angalia, is it that Kakamega Homeboys wako na so many of those when wanapiga 5 matches wanapotea tena wanarudi and stuff. So if you have such, ukianza kupiga hizo madata, na sasa kuna a lot of data na it is bad. Nimeona juzi aitwa nani huyu analyst wa Twitter akipost Kevin Tear akipost about the sports analyst in various teams. Sikuona Kakamega Homeboys akipointiwa, sijui kama hako ama niende hako peana picha. But if they are lacking one is bad. Sasa tuko na technology. You need to understand your players, their levels of fitness, their mental wellness and vitu kama hizo, so that tujue huyu anaweza ni serve for first leg na second leg, huyu anaweza nipiga timu ngapi hapo na ikimlemea tutamtolea wapi.
Very definitely. Because of time, because time yetu ya kuongea nini shaisha, let's talk about FC Leopards. Their first loss of the season. They have been having a good run till they met Marashuga to Awendo, and they lost that game by 2-0. Goals that came in late into the game, because for the better part of the day it was on a 0-0. What you can say briefly about FC Leopards and losing that game?
Yo, kitu ya kwanza I will want to I'm going for the federation. It is so shameful kuona Grau inacheza na matope. It is so bad. That thing happened kwa game ya Mathare United and it pissed me off. Like saa hii hatufai kukua hapo. Hatuna mvua ikinyesha Grau ina flood. Na hiyo hapana. Hiyo no. So as a former player, football player, kitu inaweza kupea injury apart from tackles ama players ni pitch. That pitch inaweza kupata injury hata ya 1 year. Na kuna mtu amekuguza because those bumpiness, you have to time your ball so well, you have to measure your passes. Yani a lot of things zinakuwa disrupted just because of the pitch. Hatufai kuwa na hizo pitches sasa. In Nyanza kuna very many good pitches. Hata kama ni kushare, wacha watu wa share, but tusipeleke watu kwa shamba ibaki tu ni ya mahindi. That was bad. So FC Leopards, I know, okay, football wanasema you need to adapt as a player, but also you have to face reality. FC Leopards wangefaa wa adapt, change their system. Grau imekataa. Tujaribu aerial kidogo, play some high balls kiasi hivi to just counter ground mbaya. And 2, I think mentally hiyo Grau ile watu wa timing, because Marashuga are not on the form of their life. Seeing game based on ukiangalia form ya FC Leopards na Mara, everyone was like FC taua team. Unapata. So I think niyo mentally maybe walikuja wako na Grau, so akili ikakuwa fatigued. Alafu Mara naye they knew to take their chances. Ukiangalia hiyo game there are 2 goals, one set piece, ingine ile watu hivi shua kipa hiyo jamaa kaipiga one touch. So kumaanisha ni watu pia walikuwa wanajua Grau yetu iko tuna mambo yake. So we need to play well. So nikitupia baby FC Leopards coach angejaribu kwa tactical kiasi, ajue these people are going to use long balls because Grau haiwezi chezeka. have that defense ya watu warifu watakutoa hizi vitu. Sasa hapo utakaga utakuipaka because ground si ya kupaka, kuipeleka. Yeah.
Let's finish up with Gor Mahia. Finally winning against Kenya Police. Kenya Police is one of the teams that I feel like ishakali threat already, being the defending champions and all that. Meeting against Gor Mahia. You are a Kenya Police fan, Manu. Please, what do you feel about this performance from your team, losing to Gor Mahia? Does it say that now the league is gone, literally?
I think, first of all, maybe za kujiuliza kama Kenya Police wako goals that they were able to concede ni bao zingine zenye wangeweza kuavoid. Kama hiyo bao ya kwanza unapata tu ni just defensive error, just quick decision making. Waliweza tu kupoteza tu ball hapo kwa DL na waliweza tu kufunga bao ingine wangeweza tu kuavoid. So pia kuna hizo like some few errors and mistakes zenye tu unapata they are doing, but also facing a team like Gor Mahia pia unapata inakuja na pressure. So I think Gor Mahia right now venye they are in good form right now na they are getting in good results. So Kenya Police pia facing against them pia wao unapata pressure pia inawashake kidogo. Like hata ukiangalia from the goals, I think the goals how they considered them inakuonyesha tu how right now they are as a team, but we'll still have to see. They still have a test next wanacheza Tusker next game, so it's not timing pia ni kama wameshindwa hii game ya Gor Mahia and then Tusker ndio imekuja hivyo. Tusker sahi wameshakuwa revamped, so it's gonna be a test for Kenya Police right now, but of course I was not happy with the result and how they conceded those goals manze. Hiyo ni kitu wanafaa waangalie. The coach and the players have to work on their quick decision making and also your pressure to composure. Wakuna composure, your pressure ya kukua champions, wana defend. I hope aitawaingia kama team. Yes,
definitely, and I hope they do well because we need that competition. We need Kenya Police to be in a good form. We need Gor Mahia in a good form. We need FC Leopards in a good form. We need Kakamega Homeboys in a host of other teams in a good form so that we can have quite a competitive league. And because when the league is competitive enough, it draws fans to the stadiums. When fans come into the stadium, the sponsors will start flocking in, and that's what we want for our local league. And the progression that we've had from Chan to this place, that's what we want to see, progressing and all that. And the issue of stadiums, I think we should just have like a whole topic about stadiums because I feel like you said earlier, Madin, in this age, in 2025, we cannot be playing in a pitch that is akin to a shamba, you know. It is risky for the players. It is very risky for the players and a shame to the league as a whole. So I hope the league will look into the stadiums that are qualified to host such magnitude of matches, you know. And I hope with that, people, the federation will take heed to that. So I want us to go on a very short break. Very short break. When we come back, we now will be going into the English Premier League finally, whereby I know there's a host of banters that are reserved here for people here. So brace yourself for a good show after this. Unafilaje kuhusu the topics that you're talking about? Right? Tuambie reading them and reacting to them when time is on our side. Eh? In the meantime, now let us go now to the banter session, eh? Because I feel like all of us have something to say about this weekend in as far as English Premier League is concerned. And let us start from the results of the English Premier League. Manu, please go on results tusaidia nazo kwanza.
So the results of Matchweek 11 of the Premier League. Tulianza na Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United. It ended on a 2-2 draw. And then ikafuata na Everton versus Fulham, whereby Everton walishinda hiyo game 2-0. And then West Ham versus Burnley. West Ham iliweza kushinda hiyo game 3-2. And then Sunderland versus Arsenal ilisha 2-2 draw. And then Chelsea versus Wolves, Chelsea ilishinda 3-0. coming into Sunday's fixtures, tuko na Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Aston Villa ilishinda 4-0. And then Brentford versus Newcastle. Brentford ilishinda hiyo game by 3-1 for Newcastle. Crystal Palace versus Brighton, hiyo ilisha 0-0 draw. And then Nottingham Forest versus Leeds. Nottingham Forest waliweza kushinda hiyo game by 3 goals. Ilisha 3-1. And then the final game of the game week yenye ilikuwa maybe main event, Man City versus Liverpool, and that game ended with Man City winning the game by 3-0. Yeah.
Yes, those were the weekend results, and somebody is very happy here. Yes.
Yes.
He's very happy, and we will get to that. Let us start from the first game of the weekend, whereby Tottenham Hotspurs were taking part in a match against Manchester United at White Hart Lane, sorry. And a game that ended in a 2-2 draw, a game that I feel like it was, for the first half was quite, Manchester was quite good, but of course, we know Manchester when it comes to second half, na venye behaving. And nataka nianze na Madini because you are a Manchester United fan, and nataka nianze na wewe kwanza. I hope you watched this game, and what do you feel, what do you get from this game?
Your game, it was one of the simplest games mwana Manchester United ikicheza, and they were in control from the word go, because all the threats from Tottenham zilikuwa well handled from the aerial ones, because Pedro Porro ni one of those people, yeye na Brennan Johnson. Ukiangalia the reason why walicheza huko, wale ni watu wana too much flair, ni macrosses tu, ni macross. So definitely then ukiona Richarlison amewekwa pale, then Kolomwani unaona coach wa Tottenham alikuwa na akili tu moja, let us crosses, then we try and maybe get something out of it. Now ukiona nani alize counter power by having Maguire, Delete na Shaw hapo nyuma, alikuwa kuonyesha kwamba aerial threats zote tumezicover. Then number 2 ali make sure kuna Mazraoui when playing Brighton na hata akapiga assist na sikuiza chezi tena. So we have an issue with Ugarte. It's awareness. But unapata with Casemiro in the team, we are calmer. We play better football. Na kuko na ile balance. Unaona? Anatupatia what Carrick used to give us. This Uruguayan pia wale watu na tabia kama za Ugarte. Not Flamini. The name is there. Imenipotea kidogo, but they were the same. Like ni mtu anakimbia. Wale they are just running. Yani kila siku anakimbiaga, but chenye anafanya akikimbia ndio uone. You can't quantify why are you even running. So I think Amarim anafaangalie kama Casemiro hayuko in any danger of a red card or any danger of kitu fulani, usimtoe. Acha amalize game, because we need win. Sahi mali Manchester United imefika, we need to build that momentum. Na Casemiro is giving us that momentum. Juu anafanya Bruno na relax, anafanya defense na relax, tempo yetu kucheza mpira iko juu and everything else. So those two substitutes anazipigaga, kila kitu na change. Ili to waste game ya Brentford, ili to waste game ya mara tatu, still you need to start questioning yourself. Why? Mbona wao? So should we now be looking at something else? Then wacha akae pale nje, but also we should accept when someone is not good enough. Wacha tu tumkubalie akae pale kwa bench. Wacha wale wanacheza, because at the end of the day, win is all that matters. No one will remember atu aliingia moyo kuingia. Everyone will remember game ilisha aje. Yes.
And there's this one tendency with Manchester United that everyone I think has realized is that they will play well in the first half. But when it comes to the second half, there are two places. There are two times here. The beginning of first half or at the end of the game, they lose that discipline. And that's why if you look at this season especially, goals amefungwa sana especially this one when you draw, it happens in that particular time. The beginning of second half, ama game ikienda kuisha. They lose that concentration, they lose that discipline ya kucheza, and that happens. Do you think, do you blame that on the coach ama on the players, Manu? Is that do you put that on the coach or the players?
You can as well say the coach, because yeye ndo anafanya the substitutions when the game continues, because sasa wale players wenye ateka kwa pitch maybe for a different reason, maybe to hold the play ama maybe kuchase for the win, but unapata sama players wenye wanaekwa si wale wenye ni wa kuchase hiyo game ama control the midfield. Players kama Ugarte, players kama kuna ma players ilikuwa reasonable venye Leka Shesko, but pia yeye unaona alikuwa sheki kidogo, but ni kama bado hajashika rhythm, hata kama amefunga some goals. Unapata bado team ni kama ina try kumfeed but nikaa bado haiendani. But for me you can say hizi ndio team iweze kuconcede in the final minutes ama in those dying moments ama katikati to in the second half sana. You find that maybe some tired legs zimeanza kuingia or some substitutions too zenye maybe inaharibu tu tactics. Just spoil the tactics, inawacha open in the midfield or maybe in set pieces unapata maybe mko vulnerable. So I think it also comes to the coach making the decisions to make the substitutions and also maybe partly the players. Kama players hawezi shika hiyo hakuna hiyo rhythm, the individual quality of a certain player. So I think even if mliweza, for me nita credit to Manchester United, waliweza ku come back in the final minute and get a draw. That was a much needed team. So because ingekuwa loss, ingekuwa back to zero. And you know, now saying ingekuwa different story here. But your draw now, it's a much needed off for Manchester United. And the players, I think for me, nitasema tu Lamens ndo alikuwa stand out with the saves in the first half. Na deal too with the hizo crosses zenye maybe Tottenham walikuwa na threaten. Hizo threats tu za bao za Tottenham. I think defense ilikuwa held up vizuri and yeah, 2-2 it is. Manchester United, I think they just need to improve to coach, improve substitutions kidogo. Akiangalia huyu player anaweza cheza vizuri in full 90. Okay, there is no need kutoa a certain player kama amecheza vizuri. Anaweza enda full 90 na bado keep up the composure na quality pia. Very important, but ukipata msekada lot anaingizwa na maybe quality go down, then sasa si hapo the coach has to take up the blame. So I think vitu kama hizo, but I think Manchester United right now they are in a good position. Player like Brian Mbeumo is on form right now. Yeah.
It's crazy listening to hearing Manu say that. I've never heard that from him.
Just have to be real. You know?
Unless anyone else has something to say about Manchester United.
For me, for me, I would say about Manchester United. For me, it's only about Sesko, Benjamin Sesko. I've watched his game. I don't know. I've been keen on him, especially. I've watched some Manchester United games. I think the ball control. Yani, I've seen many chances. Amepata lakini hiyo kutuliza ball na hiyo kufinish. Venye amesema is not adapting well. So I think he should play Kuna, Matthias Kuna there or another player. I think Sesko is not fitting well. Maybe that's another nini because Mona ameflop nini chances mingi sana, especially on the games like Brentford, even in the game Brighton, though they won, I think he should have scored a goal, but unaona anaenda anashindwa control ball. I don't know if it's fitness, but yeah, I think they should improve on
that. Is true, and I think that's something we are going to talk about someday, because I feel like as a striker, the first touch is very important. The first touch was receiving a ball, especially in those dangerous areas where you're supposed to get a score. That first touch gives you the composure and the confidence to score. But if it does not work well for you, then it's gone, because in a split of a second, the defender will always be approaching you. Yeah. So definitely, it's very important for that, and I hope the coach has heard something, has heard us that. You know, we're going to talk about Everton winning against Fulham. You know, this is a game that I knew in my own vision before the game. I felt like this is not a game that will guarantee a clean sheet for me. You know, and I was so astonished when it ended in a clean sheet, especially from Fulham not scoring a single goal. And Fulham is a team that we had talked about last week, and so that this is a team that, as much as sometimes it loses a game, but you will see the fight in them, you know. And after winning the last game, I felt like this is a game that will give Everton a run for their money. Not anything off from Everton, but I feel like this was the game to try to fight and maybe try to win, because I think Everton is at the same level with Fulham, if I'm asked. Brian, what do you think about Everton winning against Fulham?
Big up to David Moyes. Alijua. Like you see, as a coach, when you're playing your players, unaonanga player anacheza hivi, lakini akipatiwa huyu atakuwa wonderful. So last season nilikuwa naangalia Everton, they were not that good. Why? Because the only guy mwenye alikuwa anabeba, I think it was Iliman Njai only. Like ndo mjamaa pekee alikuwa and he carries the ball and creates those chances, and you know it's tiresome for a player to do that alone. So ameduaje, amekama ameangalia Grealish. Grealish hakuna mtu alikuwa ready kupatia Grealish a chance. Hakuna. Grealish was flopping at City, not because he's a bad player, but it's because unakumbuka Nima venye alianza story ya shere. Hiyo inakumessing as a player. Grealish alikuwa ameanza hivyo. Grealish is a good player. Kama namkumbuka akiwa Aston Villa, he was a really good. No maana usiona price tag yake ndo akuje City, very high. He's a good player. So maybe your time aliona ko City a perform and kwa bench, maybe it enlightened him akone nyana anahitaji kuchange his ways. Who gave him a chance? Everton. David Moyes gave him a chance. Na haja imess because the guy at Everton is shining. So no Grealish wa Aston Villa ameamka. So with Grealish and Diliman and Jai, different opposing wings, those guys are creating havoc in the entire field. Ama jamaa anacheza fiti. Beto amekuwa chini, sijui mbona Beto ako chini. Last season alikuwa saa because nakumbuka tukicheza derby.
Aliwasumbua.
Alikuwa tuna mess. Like jamaa alikuwa atufungia mara 2. Moja ni offside, nyingine amechapa chuma. So this season after alileta Grealish, unajua saa zingine hata unaangalianga timu unasema ni mtu tu mmoja anahitaji tu. Sitaki hata ku-over by players, one guy na ndio huyo alimpata. So but lakini hiyo game sikuwa naona kama ilikuwa itoke hivyo. Mimi nilikuwa najua game watacheza maybe a 1-1 but 2-0. That's really poor from Fulham. Because Fulham wako na players kina Alex Iwobi, kina Adama Traore, Harry Wilson. Actually I was expecting a goal from him. Nilikuwa hata nimemweka FPL. So Fulham kuchapwa clean sheet, man. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, and this player called Michael Keane, I think we should talk about Michael Keane. I think he's one of the players that very integral for Everton, especially in the defense. And also he is helping in scoring some goals. Manu, you know Michael Keane very well, and I know and he's the player that I feel like is not talked about enough. The immense contribution he has at Everton na vitu anafanya pale. What can you say about Michael Keane, especially for this season where tumeona a rejuvenation of this player?
Very well. He like career can rejuvenate because he wasn't like one of the first choice center backs like in the team. Unapata actually ameka Everton for some time, but unapata some center backs wanakuja, kuna center back partnership inafomiwa. There was a time ilikuwa Tarkowski and another center back unapata and also pia Branthwaite kukua injured, imesaidia pia because ninajua ingekuwa Tarkowski and Branthwaite, but now Branthwaite ako injured and imempea chance. That's why ndo nilikuwa nasema he wasn't that much preferred over first choice center back, but right now his contribution has been immense. Ameform partnership ingine fiti na Tarkowski. Defense imekuwa fiti, and with Pickford also in goal, they have produced defensive masterclass. And if you have players on the front that can play well, you have Ndiaye, you have Grealish, Dewsbury Hall, I think maybe Everton, the place for Malia waja improve ni striking. Na Beto pia ko hajaanza vizuri, but their defense is okay, midfield pia iko sawa, but Michael Keane, I think wasea wajampea that attention that it deserves. Because ukiangalia the defense, utaangalia Tarkowski. Tarkowski utasema, the physicality and all that. But now ukiangalia Michael Keane, kuna time he scores goals when it's needed, like those crunch moments. So I think angali wangu sana, pay attention. So this is the season whereby I think Branthwaite will have a hard time getting back into the starting 11 once he's fit, because Michael Keane has been very good lately for Everton.
Arsenal Sunderland 2-2. Because Man City, Arsenal is the only team. Okay, Man City is the only team right now that is pushing Arsenal maybe to the edge, you know. And having the Man City behind you is not a good. It is not a good story at all. So, niambie kwanza before tukuje kwa Manu na game to Arsenal. What do you feel about the fact that Arsenal drew? Because them drawing, it gave you a chance maybe to reduce the margin.
For me, that's the only game that I saw full from the start. I think that's the only match I watched from the start to the end. Of course, okay, I can't hate on Arsenal played really well. I cannot hate them on that. They dominated on terms of possession, but I believe really hard time there. Yeah.
Manu, your team.
Yeah, I think it's well said. I think this is one of the, it's well said. I think this is one of the games zenye Arsenal walipata a hard time defensively. Raya, like first game in, think ndo concede sasa mabao like after 8 games. Like 8 or 9, games, yeah, 8. So in all competition that is. So unapata they were really tested. Raya was really tested. Also the center back partnership ilikuwa kuna venye tu, because these guys were really pressing. They were really pressing so intensively. In the first half, as a Arsenal, they were really, I think walikuwa basic kidogo, as in they didn't push. That's where Sunderland maybe walikuwa fortunate kupata the goal. But ukiangalia the Arsenal performance in the first half, like nile too basic away performance, you see, because Sunderland wakiwa home, they have the advantage. But now Arsenal have the quality and they have to beat this away atmosphere in order to thrive in these games. But second half, when walirudi wakiwa down 1 goal down, wali respond vizuri. That second half, I can credit Arsenal. They responded very well. Goals to Saka and Trossard. Trossard's goal was very beautiful. That left side, give credit to that. But now after we go ahead, like tulenda 2-1, I think Arteta missed on something. I think ange make some substitutions that period, like tulenda 2-1 up. Niliona tu bado alibaki na hiyo team. Eze bado ako ndani. Eze actually we have to talk about Eze. Bado hajaanza kupick at Arsenal. Sana in that number 10 role. I think bado hajaanza kupick. And anafa I think kuwa criticized for that, because now that's where the creativity comes. And I'll also criticize Arteta for not bringing Nwaneri in. You see, because if we don't have that creative flair, unapata creativity maybe inatoka from the wings, the crosses, or maybe tuna rely on set pieces. That's why unapata creativity haiko. So Arteta anaweza chukua part of the blame because of the substitutions. Ali make substitution very late. It is something minute. Na ni moja tu ilikuwa Mosquera. So Mosquera kuingia, we knew it was defensive, but I think pia angetoa players like maybe Calafiore was on a yellow card. He almost got a red. So hizo two substitutions kuweka back 5, because nilikuwa na watch hiyo period and Sunderland were really relentless to get that to the second goal. Pressing, walikuwa na press very vigorously. When an Arsenal player gets the ball, napata na clear, because Sunderland was so intensive. And credit to them, because that's how they got the second goal from Broby. Ilikuwa intensive. I think Raya pia angefanya better. That's why I'm telling you, Raya ilikuwa tested in a way that unajua maybe hajazoea kupata this shots on target and all that. So Sunderland kukuwa relentless hivyo, walipatwa off guard. Center back partnership pia iliweza kushake kidogo, but we were able to secure that. Mi naweza sema it was a points drop, because we were ahead na tuli consider the dying minutes. But as long as we are on top, and but it's looking tough for Arsenal. It's gonna be a real test, because the next games that are coming sasa ndio hapo ndio saa moto inaanza kuchemka. But for that game, I think I'll take a draw because of the intensity of the game and also Sunderland's form in the Premier League. But I think we could have gotten the winner. For me, I wish tungeshinda hiyo game. But it is what it is. When Brea alisema, it is what it is. We take the draw and we continue.
Let's talk about Chelsea, unless anybody has something to add on Arsenal. Let's talk about Chelsea, Brea. Chelsea finally got okay, not finally. They have been winning.
Finally.
Chelsea won against Wolves. Wolves, of course, we know it is not having a good season. So it's not even news, you know. It's nothing to celebrate a lot, because
nilikuja kutajua mimi hata sijaimsikia, nasikia alikuwa loan sijui wapi. So wako na squad, yes. Lakini sasa consistency ndio ina lack juu, considering the kind of players walibuy. Mimi sasa nilikuwa nasema Chelsea wangekuwa kala season around up top 2 top 3. kwa sababu okay wako hapo lakini points hizo points Chelsea wako nazo hawafai kuwa hapo juu walibaja Pedro very good striker Brighton alikuwa na shine akiwa na Welbeck amekuja Chelsea amecontinue aonyeshi signs za kusimama but yes usually by Liam Delap apati game time is the more physical. Unajua Chelsea walibuy a more clinical striker and a more physical striker in Liam Delap. Good at headering, good at physical, but happy with game time, which is sad. Defensive midfielder, wow, Moses Caicedo, man, that guy is world class. I have to accept that. Germany world class. Defensive, ball carrying, passing, shooting, ako sawa. Defensive yao iko sawa, kuna kina Reece James, kina Tosin, kina Kukurea wako sawa. Attacking pia wako sawa. So nikikwambia Chelsea is a complete team. What they lack is just consistency. So wakabuild up kwa consistency, washinde tu games like 4 in a row ama jamaa atakuwa sawa. Sio ndo world champions ama venye anajiita huko nje. So yeah, wako tu sawa. Wa improve hapo kwa consistency tu.
So let's talk about Wolves. Unajua Wolves is not doing so well this season, and being a team that is one of the teams that, as much as they're not teams that fight for the title, of course, but they are teams that are here they exist here to prevent some teams from winning, because these are the teams that are here to push others to win, of course. True. But when you see a team like Wolves now, it may come up sometimes since it the league, and you have seen a time when it was doing so well. I think like 3 seasons ago or 4 seasons ago, it was one of the teams that were doing so well. But now you're seeing that as seasons go by, you're seeing the fall of Wolves. Like this season is even worse. What can you say about Wolves?
I think Wolves walikuwa the closest thing to Brighton in terms of scouting, buying of players and selling. Walikuwa perfect. Kuna time walikuwa na Podence, watu walikuwa wanamtaka the next Hazard, alikuwa na Hazard. Kila kitu mpaka number 10, like anacheza kama Podence. Then they had Pedro Neto, alafu the late Diogo Jota. Unaona? Like walikuwa na a very very strong team yenye tulikuwa sure ile timu uko sure itapiga Man City. Ilikuwa Wolves.
Walifanyia double.
We were sure. Like any season tulikuwa tu kama mnataka timu ya kustop Man City, wewe wapeni tu Wolves on point 6 tunachukua tunaweka kando. Unaona? Like we were sure with them, like especially the big 6 walikuwa wana make sure tu pale Malinux hakuna point inatoka, like they have to take it. So recently Jota Manchester United really struggled there. Arsenal struggled there, Liverpool, like ikuwa rahisi tu kwa any of the big teams kutoa points pale. It was easy tu. Sasa Pep yake ilikuwa constant, like ilikuwa tu sure, but na Pep ndio ilikuwa home and away, but for Manchester United ilikuwa either home or away. One has to give, Arsenal the same, one has to give and stuff. So walikuwa poa. Then all of a sudden they started selling players. Wakaanza na Ruben Neves wakampeleka Saudi Arabia, no replacement. Wakaleta Andre kidogo pia level yake na ukafeel bado. Then wakaanza kuuza the front line. Wakaanza na Jimenez wakampeleka Fulham after that injury. Jota akaenda Liverpool, tena no replacement. Podence, we just don't know what happened to him. Akaenda Trincao wakamsukuma, sasa ndio ana ball pale Sporting Lisbon. Pedro Neto ndio huyo Chelsea direct. So who was the replacement? Adama Traore mwenye alikuwa the menace hiyo wakati game ikiwa ngumu, anamuingiza na kimbia na mpira kutoka huko. We used to run. Nakumbuka kuna game nyingine pale eti Adali kimbia kutoka huko kwao bana mpaka kwa post ya Man City na akafunga. Unaona? Like they used to have game people when walikuwa tu na some wow factor. Kimutu kinafanya tu kitu na shindo, hii imetoka wapi? So after hapo whatever they started buying after your time, mimi sijui. I don't know if it is their sporting director mwenye alienda or is it waliamua ku change the management or something that's happened that waliacha tu kununua what they used to buy. Unaona, all of a sudden wakakuwa selling club with no quality coming in. Now obviously it has to show. Once you start selling your best players now late replacement, it will definitely show. You utaanza ku lose so many games. So that is what is disturbing Wolves currently. Juu unaona wanatagemea Strand Larson. Na Strand Larson last season alifunga bao 8-9. Sasa hii season it's crazy. It's crazy. Hata mimi nilikuwa naweka fantasy last year, like I used to feel good. Unajua tu kijamaa kitafunga hapa katikati. Unaona? Akikosa game namtoa game 2 after 2 games namrudisha juu unajua haiwezi na game 3 kama hajascore. But saa hii hata ukumbuki Micho alifunga leni. So you see, so it's down to recruitment now. If they don't behave, so amefuta coach, but things are not going on well bado. So wasipo karada, relegation is calling, na sahi kuenda relegation wakina Sunderland ndio hao wanachukua points za mapema, wanajua tukifika 40 mark tuko challenge. So already Sunderland mali wako hao already wanachezea 18, so they just did another 22 wako poa. So unapata, so which means sahi hao wanaangalia tu, we just need to win 7 matches or at least win 5 and draw like 6 of them. So wako poa, na sahi ndio ligi bado imeanza, tujafika hata double figures. Tunapata. Yes, so it's all down to recruitment. Wolves need to do better in terms of replacing the players when walikuwa wameenda. Alafu wanze na keeper juu pale kwa goalkeeping wako na issue. Midfield yao ule Klinsmann mwenye alikuwa anasimama kwa ile defense alimsukuma West Ham. So they need to just buy new players, and hata kama watarudi kwa ile Portugal FC walikuanga walikuwa wanaita Portugal FC, they used to go and buy from Portugal. Hata kama watarudi huko it's fine. Sometimes you just need to buy bora na perform. Nationality is irrelevant.
True kabisa, and that's why we need to see a Wolves that is competitive, you know. Another game I feel like we'll talk about is the Aston Villa against Bournemouth. Briefly though, this one because of time, briefly, because Bournemouth losing by that margin, especially for the past 2 seasons, is something that you don't expect. 4 goals are a lot for Bournemouth. We know Aston Villa are a good side. We know that. But this is Bournemouth they're talking about. A Bournemouth that has beaten some of the biggest teams. You know? So, Manu briefly. Let's talk about Aston Villa versus Bournemouth.
I think Aston Villa sahi unajua nile rejuvenation time yao na wao kwanza season vizuri, like ni kama alternate. Bournemouth wameanza season vizuri and Aston Villa hawakwanza vizuri, but Aston Villa this time ndo wako fit. But for Bournemouth, me I don't know what happened. Okay, sikuona game vizuri, but I'm so shocked that they lost at such a margin. And they have the star players, kuna Semenyo, Kluivert, kuna Tavernier, and I just don't know what happened to Bournemouth. But now, this is now what we were talking about, Aston Villa. Aston Villa just needed to click in as far as quality is concerned, because they have good players, like quality players in that team. Onana, Buendia, you have Watkins and Rogers, the partnership. So any team iko very strong. Sijui ni juu tactics hazikuwa zinaingiana ama they sold some players ama injury, but right now they are very good. Aston Villa bado ilichapa Tottenham. So I think sahi Aston Villa ni ile tu momentum imeshawashika. They can play every day. Meet a team and play them. But for Bournemouth, I can't explain. I'm so sorry, I can't explain about Bournemouth.
Brentford Newcastle, Abrayo. Brentford beat Newcastle 3-1.
Not surprised. Newcastle wanalaki Isak. They're lacking the cutting edge in front. Oltamada ako sawa, but inconsistent. They have a young striker in Will Osula, but most of the time injured. Na everything went downhill after Dan Ban alipatiwa red card. That is their center wall. Ukishabomwa, it's like sasa tupatiwe Van Dijk red card. Everything is open up. Walikuwa sawa because after alikula red card in the next 5 minutes wakafungwa and later on wakafungwa 3. So yeah, they're lacking a proper striker. Defensive structure iko sawa na midfielder yao iko sawa. So hiyo game walishindwa tu mostly due to Dan Ban kupatiwa red card.
I would have liked us to talk about Crystal Palace and Brighton, but because of time, let us go now to the team, the biggest team of the weekend. We have 5 minutes to talk about it. So if I give you a time, please be brief about it. Please try to be brief and glitter. Man City Liverpool, a game that was the scoreline crazy scorelines. Let's start from the winner of that particular fixture. What did you feel? What do you make of your team winning by that positive margin, 3-0 to Liverpool? It's Liverpool, man.
As for me, I'm not surprised actually.
Come on.
I was not surprised.
Give me my mic. Exchange the mic, please. Thank you so much.
I was not surprised at all. For me, at first, of course, it was a really hard game.
Mic. Okay.
Oh, it was a nini. At first I saw it was a 50-50 game, of course. We had our doubts, but after some time I was sure though I had a high percentage, tulikuwa najua tutawachapa. Especially, actually it's not about even how good our attack is. It's about how how their defense is flopping. I saw that. So just watching that game, I didn't unfortunately due to some issues sikuwatch yote. But I saw those kind of the way they played. Especially their defense, the Liverpool defense. I think Slot should have, he overemphasized on the attacking, yeah. So I think Slot should have done more on the Nini. Then you saw Doku, right? The best wing, actually the best wing in the world. I don't know. Really? He became Neymar. Remember that he became Neymar in that game. You saw the way he played. He became prime Neymar in that game. Yeah, of course. And yeah, also our defense was also good. I don't think anybody's talking about, especially O'Reilly pocketing Salah. Salah wasn't doing anything there. I think that's another really underestimated player, O'Reilly. Yeah, and big up. Of course, you're the best team, and you're going from the Premier League. Of course, that's number 2 years. Yes. Yeah.
I think Salah is not having a good season overall. I don't think we're not seeing the Salah of last season and the previous seasons. So Salah being pocketed is nothing new. It has happened in a couple of games. Let's talk. Bro, tell us about your team. What happened to your team? I'm sitting in your mic.
Okay, to the poor lend a helping hand. So,
come on.
Walikuwa nataka hiyo win. Si tunajua hatutakiwa repeat mambo ya last season. Nakumbuka last season after tulishinda kikombe venye tulikuwa tunapeana points. Chelsea mnataka kuingia top 4, chukueni hiyo win. Ni mnataka kushinda, chukueni hiyo win. So tuliona sisi tunataka ku bounce back, so we gave them a win, but we are very poor. Salah been pocketed. Hiyo ni shazoea, it's not new. Aneslot manze, huwezi shikilia kitu ya last season. Ya last season ilipita. Umeleta new players, change the game style. Acha kucheza mambo ya last season. Like hakuna venye utaniambia Salah, hakuna venye utaniambia Frimpong ako form, afu unataka Salah acheze. No, say to accept Salah is aging. Premier League is getting tougher every day. Bench Salah for once, at least acheze 30 or 20 minutes or so. Eka Frimpong hapo right wing, he can play, he's fast, he has good dribbling, he has good crossing, he's good. Salah is aging, ndio maana unaona na pocket yana hata sijisikia niko Riley nisikia season. Unaona ana pocket tu utoto. Si una get. So you need to change the tactics. Bench Konate manu kijana akili yake kwa Madrid, alishaona contract sijua kuna labda imeandikwa 200k. Eka hapo Joe Gomez. Mtu mwenye anachezea badge. Florian Wirtz.
Wow.
Jamaa tulikuwa tunamhitaji. If you are talking facts. Mid yetu ya last season iko sawa. Kama tungekanio mid na tukwe tu tunacheza venye tunacheza, tunaweka mtuka with this guy tulipia na Aston Villa, Avi Elliott, the likes of Curtis Jones and Wataruendo, tungekuwa sawa. This guy unajua tu utafuta the solution to a problem. This guy is pointing the problem to a solution. We had a solution, amekuja kutuletea mashida. Umeoverbuy players unajua pale watacheza. So it's piling na pia si Pep, tuambiane tu kweli, si Pep. Jo Pep nule kocha akipata resources he plays well. Bila resources Klopp alikuwa anaweza create talent. Pep ananga hiyo time. Pep ni bystander, atacheza fiti. Klopp achokuja Slot achokujaribu. Hizo ni mambo za kina Pep bana. Jenga squad yako, ama ukainile squad ulipata, buy striker kani striker ulikuwa unataka. Hiyo was spending bana. Unajua ndo yani mna spend hiyo do yote na mkono mbaya tuko chini ya Mani kwanza niuma. Tuko chini ya Mani na niuma sana hiyo.
And it's just that the fact that Watts has got no goal contribution in all the games is no goal contribution. No assist, no goal.
Say ni 0011 ama
double it's 11 man, and if you look at the price again, one thing I think the biasness in the media. If Watts was in Arsenal or Manchester United, there could be so much noise. But why is it there no noise when it comes to Liverpool players? Or is it that they're not selling commercially because media do this to sell the papers and all that. So I think Liverpool is not good commercially.
Maybe.
It's not.
And I think maybe hakuna hiyo pressure because unapata Watts aliingia na this price tag and but I think pressure tulisema kila mtu alisema before Premier League ianze umsata flop and I think now it got into him. But for Liverpool Brian amesema tu vizuri, I don't think Slot alihitaji overspend on Watts, Isak actually ukiangalia like the situation of that move iliingiza tu pressure and alihitaji tu kununua Ekitike and maybe Frimpong and that's it because the last season's team ilikuwa fiti sana. Hakuwa uzi Diaz manze. Diaz alikuwa quality in that left wing but maybe alitaka move to another side, but Liverpool right now wanakuwa exposed. I think wanakuwa exposed from now last season because Slot came and saw this good team that Klopp created and he won the league with it. Now some players wametoka, Trent, Diaz ameenda, Nunes, and he's being exposed right now with these transfers right now. So I think and Salah of course alipata contract mpya.
Just finishing your point.
Okay, I'll be finishing right now. Salah alipata contract mpya, ndio hiyo sasa hiyo CAS. Ukipata contract mpya unaanza kukua lazy, performances zinashuka. I don't know, maybe Liverpool right now I think is the good time to play Liverpool. But anyway, maybe they can bounce back. I don't think they can win the league. Venye tulikuwa tunasema ati season ikianza, Liverpool is a strong team, score depth. I don't think so right now. Maybe if they continue losing or maybe I don't think so. But anyways, it's been a good show. Banter here and there, but it's been amazing. Hopefully may enjoy the show. For Arsenal, of course, we're on top of the league. Hiyo kitu tusikuwe shaken. We're on top of the league. Sindo the leaders. Na mtu asituambie kitu. Anyways, hope you have a good week ahead. See you next week, same time, same place. My name is Emmanuel Deti.
30 seconds, Brian.
At the end of the day, we will bounce back. You're the great Liverpool. YNWA, I will never walk alone. Tuta bounce back too. Change your tactics, coach. Hujaweza kufikia lakini change your tactics. Na tutakwasa. The gap is not that big yet. Tutafika tu.
How tutakuwa next week? Okay, 30 seconds too.
We have the only 3 words. Manchester is blue. Only. Ndio hivyo tu. Hakuna mambo mengine. Na tutashinda Premier. Of course Arsenal will not win. We're the favorites here. Hakuna mambo mengine.
Madin, say something small about Liverpool. Alafu kimaliza 30 seconds.
Yangu ndasema too simple. Slot was riding on Klopp's success and it worked last season. This year, asa akiamua tumia akili yako no Kenya, you can see what is there. A very big Ten Hag in the shoes of Klopp. And at the end of the day, as long as Manchester is blue, they still have a long way to go. So Manchester will always be red until we fake 21 Premier League titles.
Yes,
thank you.
It's like a delusion of grandeur. You don't explain that. Manchester will always be red. No cap. Thanks so much for everybody who has taken part in the show. I can read a few comments. Chambro kare kwamba sema the draw akili ni boesha, but Arsenal, come on. we are going to December. It's nothing new with Arsenal. This is where they start from.
Wait and see.
Shale says my favorite co-host Mika. Thank you so much. Devin Joyce is following from Limuru. I don't know who will win the Premier League, but I know who will not win. Of course, it's Arsenal. Pamgad says the Arsenal diva is here early, watching from Mombasa Road. Let's talk about how Arsenal has a tight squad, considering that Jesus Gabriel is back. Come on, you are scaring us with Gabriel Jesus seriously.
Havertz, Gyökeres, Madueke, Saka.
Still.
Ngoja.
Dina Mania says good afternoon gentlemen, watu wa kuomboleza poleni sana. Ni wale wawili huko.
Mimi siombolezi mimi.
Oh, they are always happy that day is Arsenal. Thank you so much for everybody who was watching. Have a beautiful week. We love you so much. Goodbye.